So most people, they dream about making a feature film. If you haven't already made a short film, you should probably forget about it. So instead, I think focus on making a short film, then launch your filmmaking career off of that. Here's my tips on how to do it. First off, you need to find a solid story to work with. I made short films for many years before I got into making feature films. Most of them was fiction films. One of them even made it into Cannes. I found this to be quite boring and unnatural. So eventually I got into shooting fiction with amateur actors. That helped a bit to create authenticity. But it wasn't until I started following real people that I found stories that to me wasn't predictable and boring. It's not that I don't like fiction. It's just that the templated storytelling turns me off. The 3-act, 90-minute structured stories doesn't engage me emotionally. I feel like every film is pretty much the same. But I am a big fan of cinematic storytelling. But the story that's technically perfect is rarely unique. You need to have things you can't control to push you to do things to find a unique way of solving problems. Finding that unique story is the most important part of making any film. With short films, narrative structures aren't as set in stone as a feature. See them as a way to explore ideas rather than making something perfect for distribution. It's in those moments that you'll discover unpredictable things that you love, and you might build your whole career off of them. I would focus on doing stories that develop me. So anything that I think I'm good at is probably something that I wouldn't do. I'd focus on stuff that pushes me and challenges me.
Can we smoke next to this thing? It might explode.
Don't wait.
Huh? You're scared? Yeah. Let us see if it will explode. It's a good experiment. If we explode, we run that side.
With my last film, The Pearl of Africa, I felt that I tended to go towards multi-protagonist stories too easily. And that without even having made a long format focused on one character. So that's why I forced myself into making one film about one character to develop my storytelling skills. That's just as important as making the film itself. You're hopefully not in this to make just one film. Most end up just making one, but looking at it as a learning experience rather than the final destination will make you succeed much quicker. By doing that, you can force new ideas to pop up. That's how every unique artist works. By throwing themselves into the unknown territories and try to survive. Staying on the main road might get you to a destination, but everybody knows that that's not gonna be the unique and extraordinary way of experiencing or discovering anything. So how do you find or write a great story? First off, you need to take your time and do research. You need to put the time in for anything great to pop up. Usually I do some research, then I throw myself into the project or story by shooting. I pull out my camera early because it's a tool for me to find a story. I look for how to tell a story visually. What audio narrative do I use? I look to develop a method to do the project. I don't sit at home waiting for lighting to strike. I do the work, with or without funding. Then I go back and forth, playing with ideas. I do further research. I shoot some more. That's until I find my story. At that time, you need to do it all over again. Even more research. and developing the narrative structure to something strong. At this time, you should probably start to see things clear enough to start thinking about pitching it.
We pray, Father, for love, Father. We pray, Father, for this country, for the laws to change, Father. For Uganda to be a safe place for us, Father. I pray, Father, that you guide us.